Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And today we're going to unbox the InMotion V10F. So let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. And of course, big thanks to my e-wheel for providing me this wheel for testing purposes. And if you want to buy a wheel in Europe, feel free to check out mywheel.com and use the Wrong Way code at checkout, so you'll receive a 5% discount. I also do receive a kickback from that, so you also support the channel by using this promo code. Now, InMotion V10 has been out for a bit, and I actually already did a review on it, but in Polish. So I thought a wheel that so many people are interested in is of course worthy of a revisit and also maybe a small comparison to the Tesla V2 I have here. And don't worry, a review on the Tesla V2 is coming soon. I'm just stacking up miles here. Most of the miles were done by Kate, around already 200 miles on it. So we'll probably do like a 300-mile review on the Tesla V2. But anyways, because the V10 actually doesn't have any successor, or the V10F, it's still not a wheel that is as big as, for example, the 16X, the MSX, MSP lineups, because it's just a lighter wheel, around 20 kilograms, but still has a pretty decent battery, which should get you around most of the city. So probably the range anywhere around like 60 kilometers. Of course, we'll check that out as well. So, let's open it up. Lots of stickers. Thanks, my e-wheel. And here we get a InMotion manual. Here's user's manual. Pretty cool. And it's not a data sheet like at GotWay. Here we get pads, side pads, like something like that. And since I've actually tested the V10F, it also came with new pedals. So I think these will be here as well. More my e-wheel stickers. Like, you won't get that many my e-wheel stickers probably in your box. We get a cable, and we also do get a charging brick. Everything properly secured. And this is a 1.5 amp charger. So with this charger, it will take a while to charge up the V10F from 0 to 100%, around 8 to 9 hours, more like 8 to 9 hours, because this is not a fast charging brick. As you can see here, the port is a GX12-3. I mean, if the port is secured, then we can live with that. But already, here's the wheel itself. Let's get it out. Oh, it's a light wheel. Nice. And let's get it out. And let's get this out as well. And it is very glossy indeed. There's also a protective case you can buy for the InMotion if you're really just scared of it. I think it's also in transport mode. Oh, the new pedals. Grip tape looks not that grippy, but actually underneath this grip tape there is some sort of like gel or rubber material, so it's actually really soft. And there is no magnet, but there is some sort of rubber part here, so it doesn't scratch this surface itself. To open up the V11, you actually need to take out the pads. So if the pads are here, you need to get them out, and then there are these screws to open the wheel up. And probably I will also do a teardown video of this wheel. Because of the recent quality stuff we had with the wheels, I'll probably always open up the wheel and show the insides to you. So probably we'll do a teardown of this wheel as well later on. But now let's just put on the pads. I would say these are not the like thickest pads, but they're still there. Okay, so let's boot it up, and probably it's in transport mode. Yep, but already you can see the really cool LEDs on the side of the V11. So now I'll just download the InMotion app and get back to you, and I'll be able to unlock the wheel.
Few moments later.
All right, so I've just downloaded the app, and I can show it to you here on the screen. So now I can just search for vehicles. Here's the V10F. Now the wheel's under transportation mode. Would you like to unlock it immediately? Yeah, I would like to. Was that enough? Let's see. No, not yet. So let's check it out once again. I think we have to go to settings. We go to settings, then we go to speed effects, transportation mode, and now it works. So then I select footboard sensitivity to 100%. We can select the standby time, the loudness of all these settings. And it's also limited to 25 kilometers an hour out of the box, so we need to turn that off. And set it to 25 miles an hour, which is 40 kilometers an hour. Light effects are on, and the spinning button, which is the lift switch, is also here, just really convenient, placed just underneath the handle. And the thing you gotta love is just how high the trolley handle is. Like, let's compare it to the Tesla here. The difference is pretty enormous. And the problem with the Tesla is that this trolley handle just goes down by itself, whilst this has a special button on the side which doesn't allow you to get this trolley handle out. Now, the downside of this trolley handle is that it can lift itself up on jumping. And the second thing is, like, if you fall, this is probably the first thing that will bend or break. So it has its upsides, but it also has its downsides. The trolley handle is sadly always in the way of the charge port, so it needs to be open if you want to charge the wheel. And I wouldn't call the charge port cover the most sturdy around. It looks a bit flimsy. So, the app for the InMotion wheel is actually also pretty advanced. Like, you can also set up all these lighting effects here. So probably I have also my DIY. Yeah, I have still my DIY presets that I had from my V10 like 1.5 years ago. So if you want to just set your own DIY light, you can set it up in the program. And then if you want to send it, you select it. For example, I have here one preset, my DIY, which is called swirling moving. And then you just need to hit transfer, but remember that the wheel has to stay on its side or just hold the lift switch button. So now I will just transfer. It's really slow. It's like 40% now or 50%. And still you have to hold the lift switch button. But soon it should be ready. I don't know what they're using, what kind of technology. Okay, and now you can see it's like a different design, which I actually came up with in this app. It's a lot of fun to create your own designs here. And the faster you go, the quicker the designs become. Is there anything else interesting in the app? Well, you can see what the mileage is of the wheel. You can just do a diagnosis, everything is all right. All in all, in the app you can see your range. There's also some quick buttons to turn on the light or different settings, but mostly for just remembering your route or these settings that you use most often in the wheel, you will probably use darkness bot. Oh, maybe one more interesting thing you can do here. You can lock the wheel. If you're the owner of this wheel, so then it will just not be enabled, but somehow I can't do it here on this wheel. And you can also select vehicle correction, and very quickly you can also adjust the tilt of the foot plates. So if you look at the foot plates, now they're pretty much flat, and then I can just select 8, whatever, and it will just do its thing until it's in the right tilt. Another thing you can do is, of course, calibrate the wheel. The thing is, like, if the wheel is not calibrated correctly, then it will lift the pedals up and you go, for example, left or right, and in the other direction it will tilt the pedals down. So if that happens, you need to calibrate the wheel. And we can do also a firmware upgrade. And all in all, it sounds like a fax machine, doesn't it? Yeah, very, very funny sound. So I think that's about it when it comes to the app. We can also just talk a bit more about the wheel, how it's done, how it's made. So one annoying thing about the V10 is still that you turn it on and off with a short press. So this is pretty annoying because if you want to turn on the light, you have to hold. It should be the other way around. And if you look at the light, let's check out the beam somewhere. The beam is like pretty round. And I would say that compared to a Tesla, this light is a bit, maybe it's less scattered, but is it stronger? I think the Tesla light is stronger. More centered, but the V10 light is a bit weaker than the Tesla's. Well, we'll leave the Tesla here so we can just have it for comparison. So the foot plates are actually a bit bigger than on the Tesla. So they're a bit bigger, and the main difference is that the pedals on the V10 are actually a bit higher than on the Tesla, maybe. So the pedals on the V10 are higher, as well as the clearance in the front. So the V10 will be a better off-road wheel. But you can also see that the pedals are actually not that angled as on the V10, as on a Tesla. This gives you way more grip and stability, but this is like more comfortable for longer rides. I actually prefer the angle of the Tesla pedals, but for off-road it's still better to just get the V10 because it has a higher clearance as well as higher foot plates. So moving on, of course, I love the LEDs on the side. There is a tail light. It's also it has a strobe when you...
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad?
It's not that bad.
Tesla has none. But I just bought, like, I started to use different lights anyways, like external lights. So I can show you what the difference is when you get like an OLight light, which I have here, the OLight RN800. You can see just that the difference is quite huge, quite noticeable. So this is the most powerful setting on the OLight, and compare it to the V10. Yeah. It's a big difference. I mostly ride on the medium setting on the OLight anyways, and it has also a better beam. And when it comes to the real light, I also got a OLight light, and it's also just totally different than what you have here. So I would always advise you to get some additional lighting on your helmet, because this increases your visibility, and of course what you see at night, it can happen that you don't see some sort of obstacle, and because of not good enough lighting, you'll fall. And if you have this, you won't, probably, maybe, I don't know. Another thing I like about the V11 is here, the battery indicator. And it also shows you if the Bluetooth stuff is sending, and it also shows you the battery charge, if the unicycle is charging. And one more cool thing about the V10 compared to the Tesla is that whilst the V10 is charging, you can actually check on your app how much charge you already have. You can't do it on the GotWay wheels because this is always on. And recently there's been, of course, the fire of the couple of MSBs, actually 2 MSBs, and the battery compartments in the V10s are enclosed in plastic, so that's pretty cool. But this is something else we'll talk about later also in the teardown. It also has a Bluetooth speaker, and from what I was hearing right now, it doesn't sound as good as the Teslas. But again, you can just get a JBL Clip 3 and this will do just fine. So if you just put it next to the Tesla, it's just a tad higher, but it's a lot thinner than the Tesla. The V10 has a pretty similar battery, actually, 960 watt hours. And the Tesla has 1,020 watt hours, and probably the V10 will go further because it doesn't have that much power as the Tesla. Top speed is 40 kilometers an hour, and all in all, this is more like a commuter, and this is more like a faster wheel in terms of just acceleration and torque. But we'll check out how it rides. We'll, of course, review the InMotion V10. It has a pretty short mudguard, but it does the job well. I already did like 2,000 kilometers on V10s already, on the V10, not the V10F. The red stripe here around the wheel is the thing that differentiates it from the V10. So if you have the red stripe, then you know you just got the biggest possible wheel. So pretty cool, pretty excited to see a lighter wheel, a more commuter-friendly wheel again. This is probably what I will take if I want to go grocery shopping, if I have just something small to do, just in the city. But you know, for longer rides, I'll just take the Sherman. So if you like this video, hit the like button on it. If you would like to see a video comparison between the Tesla and the V10, just feel free to comment below. So if you're still here, leave that like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.